recording. We're gonna go live. Give me a minute here.
What's the estimated time of result, do you think?
You never want to estimate that, Alan.
Well, I gotta go ask my wife to cut my hair, so I need to make a.
Don't worry. It's going to be quicker than Florida 2000.
I gotta hop off it too, but
Yeah, I think what we should get through it by two.
that's great.
How much narration we do.
But I mean, are we abiding by anybody's democracy rules here? Do we have to have observers? Could this be challenged because we don't have enough in-person observers or visual observers?
It's a brave new world here with this virus, right? We would all be in the same room doing this otherwise.
Right.
No, I mean, we certainly trust our community volunteers here, and we're here, we're watching, and I mean, it's the color of a bridge at the end of the day. It's an important thing, but it's not a life or death thing, and it's a nice little distraction here during these tough times. And I think Patricia and Caleb are doing a fantastic job on this.
I think the way to think about it is that this is an advisory vote. This isn't a legally binding vote, and we're going to do it completely upfront with ample observation given the circumstances we have, and all the ballots are going to be visible. And at the end of that, the city will act on the people's choice.
All right, folks, we are live, so let's get this thing going.
All right. Well, welcome everyone. If we have any viewers out there to the ranked choice voting for the Grand Avenue Bridge color. I'm Giovanni Zinn. I'm the city engineer. We're very excited to include the community here in voting. Obviously, the COVID-19 situation has impacted both the quantity of votes and our ability to count them easily. So we are doing this remotely through social distancing. And I want to give a big thank you to Caleb Kleppner and Patricia Kane, who came up with this idea and have really been spearheading it. So we're actually going to have painting happen in the sort of first third or so of the contract on the Grand Avenue Bridge. So we'll see the results of this coming up over the next season or so. And I have no idea what color was selected, so I'm very excited to see it. And with that, I'll turn it over to Caleb and Patricia, and actually a quick shout out to Zachary Shapiro, the city's chief structural engineer, who's the project manager on Grand Avenue Bridge, and without whom we really would not be doing any of this. So,
and Giovanni, a big thank you to you and your staff for all your support. The display boards are a knockout. The ballots were very easy for people to follow, and just your being open to this new process is really exciting for us.
Well, I think I'm the head of the ballot counting process. So I also want to give my thanks to Pat for really spearheading this, and for Giovanni and the city staff for making it happen. I mean, I think this is a real model for how you can engage the public in decisions that affect them. So I'm really pleased to be part of it. We're going to count the ballots. People are going to learn a little bit about how ranked choice voting ballots are counted, and at the end of it, we'll know the color of the new Grand Avenue Bridge.
All right. If I may just jump in really quickly here, I'm going to share briefly the at least the ballot here. Let me see if I'm able to do that. Did everyone see the ballot?
Yes.
So we had 6 different colors, and we also have renderings, which we will hopefully share very quickly here. Green, terracotta, yellow, buff, teal, and gray. I have no idea. I'm not going to make any predictions in public because I have no idea. And it turns out I actually forgot to vote myself. So a little demerit for me there, but we're very excited to see what will happen. And, we're going to see live what the next color of the bridge is going to be.
So the process for counting ranked choice voting ballots, the voting is very simple. The voter just ranks the candidates in order of her choice: first choice, second choice, third choice. You can rank one candidate, you can rank all six, whatever you want in this election. But the process of counting is fairly simple. What we do is we count all of the first choices. And if anyone's got an outright majority, they win the election. But if no one has an outright majority of first choices, we conduct a series of runoffs by eliminating the color with the fewest votes and redistributing every ballot cast for the losing candidate to each voter's next choice. And so what we'll do is we'll pick up a pile of ballots and we'll say, this color was eliminated, but those votes aren't wasted. The each voter indicated her own second choice. And so we'll actually physically move that ballot into the pile of the vote of each voter's second choice. And then we'll get a new round of totals. The spreadsheet you see on the screen is going to allow you to keep track of the vote totals. And this is very real world in the sense that Pat had picked up all the late ballots. I had the early ballots. So I've got a big pile of ballots. She's got a big pile of ballots. It's one election, but we're counting it in two different places. So I'm going to count up all of my first choices and report them. Pat's going to report hers, and we're going to add our first choices together to get totals. And I'm going to write them on this poster board while our observers put numbers into the spreadsheet. And you can see in each little box, you're going to put Pat's total and my total, and then the spreadsheet's going to add them up and tell us which candidate has the fewest votes in a round and who we eliminate.
Sounds good. I'll try to do that.
All right. So, Pat.
Yes.
Well, actually, since I got the bigger number of votes, let me say that, so each pile you can see on my dining room table here is a pile. I've got 39 votes that listed green as a first choice. So I'm going to write 39 down in my first column. And Giovanni, you should put that on your spreadsheet. And Pat, how many first choices for green do you have?
23. 2, 3.
I'm sorry, Caleb, how many did you have?
I had 39.
Okay. Can you verify on the screen that I did this correctly?
Yes, and you see where the 39 and 23, you put that in the right box. You're going to be entering numbers into the little boxes, and the spreadsheet added them up, gives us a total of 62.
Perfect.
So on my spreadsheet, on my physical spreadsheet, I'm putting my total, Pat's total, and then the total number of votes for green in first round. So for terracotta, I have 21. Pat?
I have 5.
Total in my head says 26.
Yep.
Yellow, I've got 12, and here they are. Pat?
I have 6.
That's 18 total. Let me circle this so it's easier to see. All right, Buff. I have a whopping 5 votes for Buff in the first round.
I have 2.
So we got a total of 7. For teal, I have 49.
I have 21.
And finally, for gray, I have 11.
I have 4.
So we've got a total of 15. So here's
Now, Caleb, I have one ballot that wrote in black as number 1. What do I do with that?
so what did they list a second choice?
Yes,
What's the second choice?
gray.
Gray. So you can count that as a vote for gray.
Okay.
So that's-
And I increased my gray vote from 4 to 5.
Okay, so Giovanni, put a 5 in there, and we got 16 total in the first round for gray.
So that means that we've got 199 total votes, right?
I think your spreadsheet probably added that correctly.
Yes. All right. So if I add all this up, but we don't have any other ones, right, at this point?
Yep. Now, I will say that I had 3 votes where there's no valid choice. And in the first vote, the voter made a very excellent suggestion. It was Rainbow Bridge, but the voter did not rank it.
Creative. That was very creative.
So Giovanni, if you want to go with more than one color, you can make a Rainbow Bridge. My second ballot, the person voted with X's instead of numbering them, and they listed two different choices as X's. So you don't know who their first choice is, and you can't assign it to a candidate, so that doesn't count. And the same thing on this ballot. They checked yellow and teal. They also wrote or purple, but again, there's no one candidate I can give that vote to. So those get set aside, they won't be counted further. Pat, did you have any that lacked a first choice?
No.
Okay. And again, someone wrote in black, but they listed a second choice for gray, and so we can count that as a vote for gray. So now, Giovanni, please inform the public which candidate had the fewest votes in the first round.
The fewest votes in the first round was Buff with a total of 7.
Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to pick up my 5 Buff votes. Pat's going to pick up her 2 Buff votes, and we're going to sort them into the piles according to the voter's next choice. So this ballot is a number 1 for Buff, a number 2 for gray. So I'm going to actually put this vote above my line of papers labeling the colors, and we know that this is a vote that just got moved to gray. This is a first choice for Buff, second choice for terracotta. So I put that here. First choice Buff, second choice teal. First choice Buff, second choice gray. First choice Buff, second choice gray. So I've got 3 grays, 1 teal, and 1 terracotta. So why don't we go ahead and put those numbers down?
I have to do mine, Caleb.
All right, so Caleb, where do I put those in the box in second round? Is that how it works?
Right. So we got nothing for green.
Yep.
We got 1 for terracotta.
Yep.
We got nothing. Buff is we got nothing for yellow. Buff got eliminated.
Right. So I'll put an X in there.
You know, just actually, it's important. Leave teal blank. Leave Buff blank.
Okay.
Teal has 1, and gray has 3.
All right. So I got 5 total from you just now.
Right. Now, Pat, you do the same thing. Pick up
I have a 1 Buff and a 2 green, so I put that in my green pile. My second Buff has terracotta as number 2. I'll put that physically in the terracotta file.
All right. So now, Giovanni, you can add a vote to green. Which you already did.
Yep, I did.
And you add a terracotta. And if you add those votes up in that column, you should see that we eliminated Buff with 7 votes. We added 7 more votes.
Yep.
For second choices.
There we go.
So I'm going to write in my.
All right. So how do I get yellow to come across? Put a 0 here.
Put a 0 and a 0. Yeah, put a 0. There you go. So we've got 28 for terracotta. Yellow stays at 18. Buff is gone. Teal goes from 70 to 71. And gray picks up 3 to go to 19, correct?
Yeah. So in order to have a majority, we're looking at what? 100 votes?
Right now, it's exactly 100. You know, if someone doesn't list the next choice, we may reduce that denominator a little bit. So Pat, for the 2 votes you just transferred, now make sure they're sitting on top of the pile for whoever they count for.
Yes.
Because now, so Buff is gone. We now only have 5 candidates. And Giovanni, please report to me who is the candidate with the fewest votes.
At this point, yellow has 18 votes, and it is the lowest. The rest of the totals are 19 for gray, 28 for terracotta, 63 for green, and 71 for teal.
So we are going to,
For a total of 199 live votes still.
so now I am going to pick up my 12 yellow votes, and Pat's going to pick up her 6 votes, and I'm going to put them in the remaining 5 piles. I'm sorry, 4 piles, according to the voter's next choice. Now, if a voter lists yellow as their first choice and they list gray as a second choice, they list buff as a second choice, you go to the third choice. What you're doing is you're moving the vote from the current ranking for yellow to whatever the voter's next ranking is that's still in the election. So let me show you how this works. My first ballot is a yellow number 1. It's a green number 2. So I'm just going to put that on my green pile. And I'm actually not putting it on the pile. I'm putting it next to the pile so we can count up how many we're adding. Then we'll put them on the pile.
If we could take a quick pause here. We had a question in the chat. Pat, on the last round, you had 1 green and 1 terracotta, or 2 green? Do you remember?
1 green, 1 terracotta.
Okay, thank you.
So yellow number 1, green number 2.
Here it is.
Yellow number 1, teal number 2. Yellow number 1, teal number 2. Yellow 1, teal 2. And this is where you can see the political coalitions forming. We have a yellow teal coalition. It's another yellow number 1, teal number 2. Person said, I want yellow, but if I can't have yellow, I'll take teal. Yellow number 1, teal number 2. Yellow number 1, teal number 2. Yellow number 1. Now this is a vote where the person simply checked yellow, but they didn't rank a second choice. So now our denominator is going to go down by 1 because this vote doesn't count in this round because the voter chose not to list a second choice. And in fact, the same thing here. It's a check mark for yellow, but there's no indication of a second choice. Now I've got a yellow number 1 and a terracotta number 2. And lastly, I have a yellow number 1 and a green number 2. So now I've got 1, 2, 3 votes for green in this third round. So you can enter that, Giovanni.
Yep,
I've got 1 vote for terracotta.
yep.
I've got these 2 that did not list a second choice, so we set them aside. And now we've got the yellow teal coalition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 for teal and 0 for gray.
Right, because we're getting rid of yellow, so that gives us a 0 for gray. All right, let's.
Now I have transferred my 12 votes, and I'll write totals down on my while Pat calls out her transfers.
Well, on 1 quick second, I'm going to put numbers that drop out as well, so I get my. That doesn't work. Hold on. Here we go. All right. So 12 matches 12 here. Okay. All right, Pat, whenever you're ready.
Okay, in my yellow pile, number 2 is gray. Number 2 is gray. Number 2 is gray. Number 2 is teal. Number 2 is teal. And then I have 1 that just voted yellow and nothing else.
Okay, so
So that doesn't count.
you're gonna have 1 set aside, but now give me the totals for each of your colors for the 4 remaining colors.
So I have 2 teal
Okay,
and 3 green. Gray, rather.
2 teal, 3 gray,
Gray, yeah.
and 0 green. Okay, now let's see, Giovanni, we got all that?
So now I
I
can, add, them,
did, yes.
I can add them to the pile now?
Yes, you can add them to the pile.
I can add them to the pile now?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, so now you're gonna place them on top of your piles.
Got it. Okay.
All right. Yeah, so we've got 196 total live votes right now. You need 99 to win. So I gotta check my math here. Why don't we do that? I'll fix that in a minute. And the totals stand at 66 for green, 29 for terracotta, 79 for teal, 22 for gray. So it would appear at this point we have a 2-horse race.
And your total for gray is 22?
Correct. So gray drops out.
Gray is out. All right. So we've got 22 for gray and 29 for terracotta. And it is definitely a 2-horse race. And you can actually see that mathematically, because right now, if we eliminate gray and every single gray voter wanted terracotta as their next choice, the 22 votes from gray would all go over to terracotta, which would push terracotta all the way up to 51, and terracotta would still be in last place. So we actually know that we're going to eliminate gray, and then we're going to eliminate terracotta, and then either teal or green is going to be our bridge color. So let's do it again just the way we did before. I'll start by sorting all of my gray votes into the voter's next choice, but it has to be teal, terracotta, or green. And if they didn't rank another one of those 3 candidates, then we set it aside. So here is number 2 for gray with no third choice listed. Again, I've got a 2 for gray, no third choice listed. 2 for gray and a terracotta as a third choice. So I'm putting that in terracotta. I'm at a number 1 for gray and a 2 for buff, which is gone, and a 3 for teal. So this voter goes from gray to teal. Next one, I've got a 1 for gray and a 2 for teal. 1 for gray, 2 for teal. 1 for gray, 2 for teal. 1 for gray, 2 for terracotta. 1 for gray, and then a voter was kind enough to tell us that all the remaining colors are, quote, ugly. So they did not indicate a second choice.
Not that people care much.
1 for gray and a 2 for buff, which is gone. So we go to 3 terracotta. 1 for gray, 2 for green. 1 for gray, 2 for green. 1 for gray, 2 for green. And 1 for gray, 2 for green. So let me just make some notes here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 for green. We have 1, 2, 3 for terracotta. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 for teal. And we have 4 or 3 where the voter didn't list the next choice. So 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 4 is 11. Plus 3 is 14. And I was distributing 11 and 14. That's perfect.
All right, so just to recap, 4 for green, 3 for terracotta, 4 for teal, 3 dropped out, total of 14 votes.
Yes.
All right.
So our denominator's going down by a little bit, but I'm going to put these back in their piles. And now it is Pat's turn to do the same thing with all the ballots in her gray pile.
Okay, so 2 gray becomes 3 green. 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 1 gray becomes buff, which is gone. So I set that aside, right?
Well, no, you
I'll go to 3, which would be
the next one after buff.
go to teal.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So 1 gray goes to 2 green. 1 gray goes to 2 terracotta. 1 gray goes to 2 terracotta. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green, 2 terracotta, 1 teal.
And did any lack, were you unable to transfer any of the ballots?
Wait a minute, no, here's some more. I've got a 3 gray. No, wait a minute, let me check. No, that's the terracotta pile. Sorry, no, that's it.
Okay. So Giovanni, get those
All
numbers?
right. So at this point, we have 193 total still live ballots. We've had 6 drop out because all their choices have been eliminated. We need 97 total to win. We are at 75 for green, 34 for terracotta, and 84 for teal. So it is very much a competitive race. Green picked up a little steam there in the last round.
Yeah. So now this is the money round. This is the decider. Is what we're going to do is we're going to pick up our piles, and I'll go first again. And I'm going to take every ballot that currently counts for terracotta. And I've got 21, 22, 23. I should have about 26. I'm just eyeballing the numbers. And I'm going to place each ballot in one of 3 piles. I'm either going to.
So you have 26, you said? Yes, that's correct.
Well, we'll see how many I got. I mean, this is the pile, and they're all counting for terracotta right now.
Yep.
So every ballot is going to either be transferred to green, and it's going to count for green, or to teal, or if the voter did not list either green or teal on the ballot, we're going to set it aside. So I'm just going to make 2 piles right in front of me. I don't know how well you can see this, but so basically all I'm doing is I'm looking at this ballot. This is a ballot where the voter ranked all 6. And that means they ranked both teal and green, and I'm going to count it for whichever ranking is higher for teal or green. So that's a teal. This one is neither. This is a 4 for green and a 5 for teal, so that counts for green. This is a 3 for teal, that counts for teal. This is a 4 for green. This is a 3 for green. And so at this point, it's a 2-horse race. So it's just whichever candidate, teal or green, is ranked higher on the ballot is who gets the vote. This is a green. This is a green. This is a green. 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 And green. And another green, and another green. I'm sorry, this is a teal. It was a 2 for teal, a 3 for green. 2 for teal, 2 for teal. This one ranked neither green nor teal. They wanted only terracotta, yellow, or gray, so we set that aside. Same thing here, they ranked only terracotta and buff. They ranked only terracotta, only terracotta, only terracotta, and only terracotta. So let me just double check that I sorted these correctly. This is my green pile. So green, yep, green, green, green. No, this was incorrect. This one should be a teal. It was a number 2 for teal, a 3 for green. A 2 for teal.
I think you swapped your piles halfway through.
Yeah, I think I did too. I was trying to keep them all on the same side. So, but that's why, that's why we check each step. So I've got green. This is a green. That's a number 4 green, 5 teal. So that's correct. Number 4 green, 6 teal. Number 3 green, 6 teal. So I think I've got 3 there, but let me double check. And so that's a teal. teal. This is a green. This is not impressive. This is green. I think you're right. I did swap my piles perfectly. I've been keeping the green on the left the whole time and the teal on the right, but I got confused. But we fix it. Green. Green. 1 for terracotta, 2 for green. 1 for terracotta, 3 for green. So that's a green. 1 for terracotta, 2 for green. 1 for terracotta, 2 for green. 1, 2. 1. So this is a number 3 for green, but the 4 is for teal. So that counts for green. 1, and this one is a number 2 for teal, counts for teal. 1 for terracotta, 2 for teal. 1 for terracotta, 2 for teal. All right. So I'm going to count these and check one more time. 1, green. 2, green. 3, green. 4, green. 5, green. 6, green. 7, green. 8, green. 9, green. 10, green. 11, green. 12, green. 13, green. 14, green. So let's put 14 down there, Giovanni.
All right.
And I've got 1 teal, 2 teal, 3 teal, 4 teal, 5 teal.
We're sitting at a tie.
Oh boy.
Oh
All right.
boy. All comes down to Pat.
Okay.
Hold on one second.
Hold on. How many did you throw out? Or not throw out that didn't have either green or teal?
Yeah, let me just double check those. So it's 1, 2, 3, and what I'm doing is I'm making sure that these ballots rank neither green nor teal. 4, 5, 6, 7. Does that check out?
Let's see. 19 and 26. Yep. I think we're good.
So I said 14 for green and 5 for teal. All right. So let's see what you got.
You ready for my terracotta?
Yeah, so you pick up every ballot that's currently counting for terracotta and make...
It's in my hand, and now I'm looking at what the next choice is. The highest ranking for each. There's no vote for green on this one. There is a vote for teal. That goes in my teal pile.
Yep.
Let's see here. Terracotta is number 2. No, sorry. Teal is 5, green is 3, so it goes to green. On this one, there's no vote for green and there's no vote for teal, so I remove it. On this one, green is number 2, so that goes to green. On this one, green is number 2, that goes to green. On this one, number 2 is green. On this one, no votes for either color. And the last vote is 3 is number green, is green. Number 3 is green. So that makes a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green, 1 teal.
And how many dropped out?
2.
All right. It looks like we have a winner. Green.
That's exciting. So green was down by 9 votes going into the final round, but green picked up 19 votes from terracotta, and teal only picked up 6. So
Yep.
Green wins it.
There are no bad colors, is my theory.
So that is how a ranked choice voting election works. Voters rank the choices. You add up the first choices, and then you eliminate candidates one at a time, and every vote for an eliminated candidate isn't wasted because the voter had a chance to list a second choice, and their vote can count for their next choice. And you keep eliminating candidates until you get one winner, one candidate winning with a majority. So, we started with 199 votes. A couple got knocked out because the voters chose not to list a second choice. And at the end of the day, we had a winner elected with a majority of the final round, which was 94 votes. And you can imagine that if we had just gone by the first choice, the winning candidate would have been different. It would have been Teal, and it would have been much less than a majority. They would have had 70 votes out of 199. And instead, we got an actual majority winner that reflected the majority of the people who went ahead and ranked candidates.
So I made a mistake on my Excel spreadsheet on the number that dropped out here in the last round. Can you each tell me what your total is for dropouts, just so that it's all mathematically
I
consistent?
think I had 2.
Okay. And
I had 7.
all right, so it's 9. Yep. All right, that works correctly. All right. Well, there we have it. Green it is.
Finish.
Final winner is 94. And we're going to have a green bridge for the next 100 years. I hope people
There
like
you
it.
go. I don't know about that. I mean, I think we're going to have to repaint it probably 20 to 30 years out. So maybe, whoever's next will do this again. But
Yeah,
again,
well,
thank you very much. It was wonderful to see everyone participate. And, we're
Giovanni,
excited to see.
is there a possibility of people asking questions on this?
Sure, yeah. If anyone has questions, Gage, if you want to check on YouTube or wherever we're at, if they have any questions.
I see a comment here. Lee Cruz says, "Thanks for organizing. Excellent way to engage the community." Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you for
Caleb?
voting. I hope you did.
Caleb, would you like to explain how this is done in an election? Because obviously, we did this by hand and it takes time. But how do you do it when you run an election somewhere?
So this kind of election can be run with the kind of ballots we use in our public elections and the kind of voting equipment we have. I mean, basically, you bubble in an oval for your first choice candidate, another oval for your second choice candidate, and so on. The ballots get scanned, the voting machines store the rankings, and then you upload them to a computer, and you tabulate using the ranked choice voting algorithm, and it takes seconds. I mean, this is what was done in the state of Maine for their recent statewide election in November and their primaries. It's what the city of Massachusetts, Cambridge, Massachusetts, has been doing for a long time. And I'm actually going to be involved in performing this kind of a tabulation for the Democratic primaries in the states of Alaska, Wyoming, and Kansas, all of whom have decided to use ranked choice voting. So I'll get the rankings from the voting equipment company, I'll tabulate them, and then we'll present these round by round results.
What's the value of ranked choice voting over straightforward winner take all?
Well, the big advantage is that you give voters a greater ability to express themselves. They can list not only their favorite candidate, but they can also list someone that they can tolerate. And you get you elect a candidate who's supported by an actual majority of the voters. And one of the benefits is that means every voter is encouraged to vote for the candidate she really prefers without fear of spoiling the election or wasting their vote on someone who can't win. So it also leads to more positive campaigning because winning sometimes is going to require second choices from other candidate supporters. So you don't want to go quite as negative as you do in our current style of elections. So I think it has a lot of benefits. It's being used in about 25 cities across the country. State of Maine is using it for state and federal elections. It's probably going to be on the ballot in Massachusetts, and it seems to be a democratic reform that people really like.
All right. Well, thank you all very, very much. A huge thanks to Caleb and Pat for all of their help organizing this and doing this. And this has been a fantastic way to see how ranked choice voting works, and something that will manifest itself in the physical world here coming up shortly. we'll, I believe this is posted to YouTube, and I think we can share it also on Facebook and other places, and we'll share the spreadsheet as well. And thank you all very much, and we look forward to a green bridge. Thank you for voting, New Haven.
Hey, Giovanni, can we give Alan a chance to see if he has any questions as
Oh, sure, yeah.
Mr. President?
No, I mean, I thought it was wonderful. I'm just sorry we didn't have sort of a little technological device to move little horses or little dogs up and down, because I mean, it was very tense there for a while at the fourth round, very tense before the green and teal moved out.
Yeah.
So very exciting, RCV.
All
I
right,
don't
well,
have any
thank you.
questions. You're all very thorough and most appreciated.
Thank you, Alan, for covering. And with that, everyone stay safe, practice social distancing, and soon we'll be able to take walks and see the bridge color starting to appear. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, Giovanni. Take care, all. Safe.